Hey, I've heard about people making money by flipping old houses, but it sounds super risky, especially for someone new like me. What even is house flipping, and how do you actually turn a profit without losing everything?
Great question. It's exciting stuff, but yeah, the risk part is real if you're not careful. House flipping basically means buying a rundown house cheap, fixing it up to make it shine, and then selling it for more than what you put in. The profit comes from that buy low, sell high idea, plus the value you add with smart renovations. Think of it like turning a rusty old bike into a sleek one. People pay more for the upgraded version. But to make money, you calculate your net profit. Subtract all costs like buying, repairs, and holding fees from the sale price. I once knew a guy who started small. He bought a fixer-upper for $100,000, spent $30 on updates, and sold for $160,000. Walked away with $20,000 after fees. It's not magic, just math and elbow grease.
Okay, that makes sense, but what if I mess up and the fixes cost way more than I think? Could I end up losing money easily as a beginner?
Totally valid worry. Lots of new flippers hit that snag. The key is starting with a clear budget and not biting off more than you can chew. Profitability hinges on adding value without overspending. For example, focus on changes that boost appeal, like fresh paint or a modern kitchen, which can bump the price by 10 to 20% in many markets. But yeah, it's risky if you ignore hidden costs. Always factor in surprises like bad wiring. To avoid losing money, use the 70% rule. Don't pay more than 70% of the after repair value minus fix-up costs. That leaves room for profit. Remember my buddy? He lost a bit on his first try because he skipped a full inspection, but learned quick and profited on the next ones. It's about learning from small steps, not jumping in blind.
The 70% rule sounds helpful. So, net profit is sale price minus all those expenses, right? And renovating adds the real value?
Exactly, you've got it. Renovations are the secret sauce for that value add. Without them, you're just hoping the market rises, which is gambly. But done right, you control the profit by making the house irresistible. Calculate it up front. Estimate repairs at, say, 20 to 30% of purchase price for starters, and aim for 10 to 20% return after everything. It's not foolproof. Markets fluctuate. But buying low and adding smart value stacks the odds. Ever played Monopoly? It's like buying a cheap property, building houses on it, and cashing in big when someone lands there. Just in real life, you got to pay for the houses yourself.
Yeah, I see how that works now. Buying low and adding value through fixes to sell high, then crunching the numbers for net profit. Feels less scary with that breakdown. But how do I even find a house that's a good deal without getting ripped off on the price?
Oh, finding that diamond in the rough without overpaying is half the fun and the challenge. To snag a good deal, start by researching hot markets where houses are undervalued, like up-and-coming neighborhoods with new schools or jobs popping up. Think of it like scouting for hidden gems at a flea market. You want something overlooked but full of potential. Use online tools like Zillow or Redfin to spot listings below market value, often foreclosures or estate sales. Then get boots on the ground. Visit open houses. Talk to local agents who know the area inside out. I remember my first flip. I drove around a sleepy suburb and found a dated bungalow for $80,000 because the seller was eager to move. Always aim for properties that need cosmetic fixes, not total gut jobs, to keep costs down.
Markets and research sound smart, but everything seems so expensive these days. How do I know if a house is really undervalued, especially if I'm worried about getting ripped off?
Fair point. Prices can feel sky high, but undervalued spots exist if you dig. Compare recent sales in the area, called comps, to gauge true value. If similar fixed-up houses sell for $200,000, don't pay over $120,000 for a fixer if repairs are $40,000. That ties back to our 70% rule. Spotting potential means looking past the ugly. Ignore peeling wallpaper and see if the bones are solid, like good structure or location near parks. But yeah, it's scary with hidden issues, so never skip a professional inspection. It's like a doctor's checkup for the house, uncovering plumbing woes or roof leaks that could eat your budget. Negotiate hard too. Offer low based on those flaws and walk away if the seller won't budge. One time, I haggled a price down $15,000 by pointing out termite damage the owner downplayed.
Comps and inspections make sense for avoiding ripoffs, so researching markets helps find those undervalued ones and negotiating seals the deal. What if there are scary, hidden problems that even an inspection misses?
Hidden issues can sneak up, no doubt. That's why you build a buffer in your budget, say 10 to 20% extra for surprises. Inspections catch most biggies, like foundation cracks or mold. But for the rare misses, choose inspectors with great reviews and maybe even get a second opinion on older homes. Spotting potential is about vision. A house with awkward layouts might turn off buyers, but you can open it up for appeal. Remember, location is king. Near transit or good schools boosts value without much work. My buddy once bought a place with a creepy basement, but an inspection revealed it was just poor lighting. He fixed it cheap and flipped for profit. It's all about balancing fear with facts. Research, inspect, negotiate, and you'll land promising properties without the nightmares.
Got it. Building a buffer helps with those scares. Researching comps and markets, thorough inspections, and strong negotiating, that seems like the way to pick a winner without overpaying or getting hit with hidden stuff.
You're nailing it. With those steps, you're set to buy smart. Just picture transforming that undervalued find into something buyers fight over. Of course, the real magic happens once it's yours. Figuring out which fixes turn it from meh to must-have without breaking the bank.
Yeah, now I'm curious about making it shine after buying. Like, how do you decide what to fix to really amp up the value?
Deciding what to fix is like being a chef. Pick ingredients that make the dish pop without wasting a ton on extras. To amp up value, prioritize renovations that buyers crave, like updating kitchens and bathrooms. Those can boost a house's price by 20 to 30% because folks dream of cooking in a sleek space or relaxing in a spa-like bath. Start with a budget. Aim to spend no more than 20 to 25% of the purchase price on fixes to keep costs from exceeding returns. I once flipped a house where we redid the kitchen counters and added fresh tiles. It cost $15,000 but added $40,000 to the sale price. Focus on high-impact, low-cost changes first, like paint, lighting, and flooring, to maximize appeal without going overboard.
Kitchens and baths sound key, but what if I overspend and the costs eat all my profits? How do I control that?
Overspending is a common trap, especially for newbies. It's easy to get carried away thinking every room needs a total makeover. To control it, make a strict renovation plan. List must-haves versus nice-to-haves and stick to it. For example, enhance curb appeal with simple landscaping or a new front door. That's cheap, but makes buyers fall in love at first sight, often adding 5 to 10% value. DIY what you can, like painting walls yourself to save bucks, but hire pros for tricky stuff, like electrical or plumbing, to avoid costly mistakes. Remember, over-renovating is wasteful. If the neighborhood averages 200K homes, don't pour $50K into gold-plated fixtures. They won't pay off. My first project? I budgeted $25K for renos, but came in under by skipping fancy extras and focusing on basics that buyers notice.
Okay, budget and plan help avoid overspending. So, prioritize high-impact spots like kitchens, baths, and curb appeal, mix DIY with pros. But is DIY always smart, or could it backfire and make things look cheap?
DIY can be a money saver if you're handy, but yeah, it backfires if it looks sloppy. Buyers spot amateur work and haggle down. Weigh your skills. Tackle easy jobs like installing shelves or landscaping, which boost appeal without much risk, but leave structural stuff to pros to ensure quality and safety. Controlling the budget means getting quotes from multiple contractors and adding a 10% cushion for surprises. Think of it like upgrading a phone. Add features people want, like a better camera, that's your kitchen reno, but don't rebuild the whole thing if a case and screen protector do the trick. One flipper I know DIY'd the painting and saved $2K, but hired a pro for the bath remodel. House sold in a week because it felt polished.
Gotcha. Skills matter for DIY versus pros. That cushion for surprises is smart too. What about not overdoing it? How do I know when to stop so it's appealing but not wasteful?
Knowing when to stop is crucial to avoid waste. Research what sells in your area, like checking comps for similar renovated homes. Maximize appeal by focusing on neutral, timeless updates. White cabinets, hardwood floors, energy-efficient windows that cut utility bills and attract eco-conscious buyers. Skip personal tastes, like wild colors, because broad appeal wins. For instance, enhancing curb appeal with mulch and flowers might cost $500, but make the house photo ready, drawing more offers. It's all about return on investment. Kitchens and baths give the biggest bang, around 60 to 80% ROI, while over-renovating a basement might only return 50%. Tie it back. Control costs by tracking every expense in a spreadsheet, and you'll see profits stack up without the regret.
ROI on kitchens makes sense, and neutral updates to keep it broad. Budget tracking and area research to avoid waste. I'm getting how to make those choices now. Feels like I've got the reno side down for max value.
You're spot on. With that approach, your flipped house will shine and pull in top dollar. Now, imagine it's all polished up. Next comes the thrill of getting it sold quick and locking in those gains before anything unexpected throws a wrench in.
Yeah, selling it quick sounds exciting, but what if the market suddenly drops while I'm trying to sell? How do I actually secure those profits without everything falling apart?
Market drops are a real risk. No denying it. I've seen flips drag on when timing's off. To secure profits, start by pricing strategically. Don't aim too high or you'll scare buyers away in a competitive scene. Use those comps we talked about. Set your price just below similar sold homes to spark interest. Maybe 5 to 10% under to create a bidding war. Think of it like selling tickets to a hot concert. Price them right and they fly off the shelves. Then stage the house effectively. Clear out clutter, add neutral decor, and maybe some fresh flowers to make it feel like home. Staging can boost offers by 10 to 20%, turning nice into must-have. One flip I did, we staged with rented furniture and it sold in 2 weeks for $15K over asking. Pure strategy.
Pricing under comps to spark bids is clever, but competition seems tough with so many houses out there. And how do I even calculate the actual profit after all that?
Competition is fierce, especially in hot areas, but smart selling cuts through it. To stand out, list with great photos and a virtual tour. Buyers shop online first these days. For profit math, it's straightforward, but crucial. Deduct all expenses from the sale price, including purchase cost, renos, holding fees like utilities or taxes, and selling costs like agent commissions, usually 5 to 6%. Aim for at least 10 to 15% net profit after everything. Say you buy for $100K. Spend $30K on fixes. Hold for 3 months at $2K cost and sell for $160K. Subtract agent fees of say $9K and you're left with about $19K profit. Track it all in a spreadsheet to avoid surprises. Remember, if the market softens, be flexible. Drop the price a bit or offer incentives like covering closing costs to seal the deal quick.
Okay, deducting everything for net profit makes sense. and staging to beat competition. But what about those unexpected things, like delays in selling or extra costs popping up? Could that wipe out my gains?
Delays and surprise costs are the curveballs that test every flipper. Maybe repairs take longer or a buyer backs out. To handle them, build in buffers from the start. Pad your timeline by a month and your budget by 10 to 15% for holding costs if it doesn't sell fast. If the market changes suddenly, don't panic. Pivot by renting it short term to cover expenses while waiting for better conditions. For example, a friend of mine hit a slow market. He rented the place for 6 months, which paid the mortgage, and then sold when prices rebounded, still netting $25K. Secure profits by working with a savvy real estate agent who knows the local vibe. They can advise on timing and negotiate offers to minimize losses. It's all about preparation. Calculate worst case scenarios up front, like what if it takes twice as long, and have a plan B.
Buffers for delays and renting as a backup, that's reassuring. So, strategic pricing, effective staging, and careful profit calcs, plus handling surprises with plans. What if the competition is really cutthroat, like tons of other flips in the area?
In cutthroat spots, differentiate by highlighting unique features from your renos, like that energy-efficient kitchen in your listing to make it pop. Profit math stays key. Always double-check deductions for accuracy. If delays hit, cut holding costs by flipping faster next time or choosing quicker projects. Tie it back. Sell smart, stage well, and crunch numbers diligently, and you'll lock in gains even when things get bumpy. I've flipped a few where surprises came, but sticking to the plan turned them profitable every time.
Yeah, I get it now. Pricing right, staging to stand out, deducting all costs for real profit, and buffering for the unexpected. It all clicks together. House flipping feels doable with these steps. Thanks for breaking it down.